Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are talking about one of the most common questions in English. Tell me about yourself. Maybe you hear this in a job interview. Maybe a new friend asks you this question. Maybe your English teacher asks you this question on the first day of class. It is a very common question, but many people find it difficult to answer well.
That's true, Sarah. I always feel a little nervous when someone asks me this question. I don't know what to say. Should I talk about my job, my family, my hobbies? There are so many options, and I feel confused.
You are not alone, Tom. Many English learners feel the same way. Today, we will learn how to answer this question clearly and confidently. By the end of this lesson, you will have a simple plan that you can use anytime someone asks you, "Tell me about yourself."
That sounds great. I really need this lesson. Let's start. Why do people ask this question in the first place?
Good question. People ask, "Tell me about yourself," for a few reasons. First, in a job interview, the interviewer wants to know more about your background, your skills, and your personality. Second, in social situations, people ask this question to start a conversation and get to know you better. Third, in a classroom or language exchange, teachers ask this question so students can practice speaking and introduce themselves to the group.
I see. So the question can appear in different situations, and maybe the answer should be a little different each time.
Exactly. That's a smart observation, Tom. The way you answer, "Tell me about yourself," at a job interview will be different from the way you answer it at a party with new friends. But there is a basic structure that works well in almost every situation. Let's talk about that basic structure first, and then we will look at examples for different situations.
Perfect. What is the basic structure?
The basic structure has three simple parts. Part 1, who you are. This means your name, where you're from, and maybe your age or your current situation, like student or working professional. Part 2, what you do. This means your job, your studies, or your daily activities. Part 3, your interests or goals. This means your hobbies, what you enjoy, or what you are working toward in the future. Yes, so it's like name and background, then job or studies, then hobbies or goals. That sounds simple. Yes, it is simple, and that's the point. Many people make their answer too complicated, or they don't have any structure at all, so they start talking and they don't know how to stop. With this three-part structure, you always know what to say next. Can you give me an example, Sarah? Maybe you can introduce yourself using this structure. Sure, I'd love to. Let me try. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm from Boston, but I've been living in Chicago for the past 5 years. I work as an English teacher, and I really enjoy helping people improve their speaking skills. In my free time, I like reading novels and going for long walks in the park. Right now, my goal is to create more online lessons to help students all around the world. That was great. It was short, clear, and easy to understand. I could follow every part: who you are, what you do, and your interests. Thank you, Tom. Now it's your turn. Try to introduce yourself using the same three-part structure. Okay, let me try. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm from a small town, but now I live in a big city for my job. I work in a company, and I do some tasks there. In my free time, I like maybe watching movies. That's a good start, Tom, but I noticed you used a lot of and This is very common when we are nervous or thinking about what to say next. Let's fix this together. First, let's make your information more specific. What is your job exactly? I work as a graphic designer at a marketing company. Great, that's much clearer. Now, instead of saying, "I do some tasks there," you can say something like, "I design logos and advertisements for our clients." This shows exactly what you do, and it sounds confident. Oh, that's much better. Let me try again. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm from a small town, but now I live in a big city for my job. I work in a company, and I do some tasks there. In my free time, I like maybe watching movies. That's a good start, Tom, but I noticed you used a lot of and This is very common when we are nervous or thinking about what to say next. Let's fix this together. First, let's make your information more specific. What is your job exactly? I work as a graphic designer at a marketing company. Great, that's much clearer. Now, instead of saying, I do some tasks there, you can say something like, I design logos and advertisements for our clients. This shows exactly what you do, and it sounds confident. Oh, that's much better. Let me try again. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm from a small town, but now I live in a big city for my job. I work in a company, and I do some tasks there. In my free time, I like maybe watching movies. Wonderful, Tom. That was so much better. You sounded clear, confident, and interesting. Do you see the difference?
Yes, I really do. The key is to be specific instead of general. Instead of saying, I work in a company, I should say exactly what company and what I do there.
Exactly. Specific details make your answer more interesting and easier to remember. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when answering this question. Are you ready?
Yes, please. I want to know what mistakes to avoid.
The first common mistake is talking for too long. Some people get nervous and they talk and talk without stopping. They share too much information, like their whole life story, including details that are not important. Remember, tell me about yourself is usually just the beginning of a conversation, not the only chance to share information. Keep your answer short, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute, and let the other person ask follow-up questions if they want to know more.
That makes sense. I think I sometimes talk too much because I'm nervous and I want to fill the silence.
That's very common, Tom. The second mistake is being too general. If you just say, I'm a normal person, I like normal things, this doesn't give the listener any real information about you. Always try to add specific details, like your job title, your hobby, or an interesting fact about yourself.
Okay, so instead of saying I like sports, I should say I play basketball every weekend with my friends.
Exactly right. The third mistake is repeating information that is already obvious. For example, if you are at a job interview and the interviewer already has your resume, you don't need to repeat your job history word for word. Instead, you can highlight the most important and relevant parts.
That's a great tip. I never thought about that before. What is the fourth mistake?
The fourth mistake is sounding like a memorized speech. Some people practice their answer so many times that it sounds robotic, like they're reading from a script. It's good to practice, but try to sound natural, like you are having a real conversation, not reciting a memorized text. Correct. Now, let's move to a very important topic: useful vocabulary and phrases you can use when answering, "Tell me about yourself." Are you ready to learn some new expressions?
Yes, definitely. I always want to learn new vocabulary.
Great. Let's start with phrases for talking about your background. You can say, I was born and raised in blank. This means you grew up in that place. You can also say, I currently live in blank for where you live now. Another useful phrase is, I come from a family of blank. For example, I come from a family of teachers, which tells the listener about your family background.
Those are useful. Can you give me phrases for talking about work or studies?
Of course. For work, you can say, I work as a, followed by your job title. You can also say, I've been working in this field for years. This shows your experience. Another good phrase is, my main responsibilities include blank, which explains what you do at your job. For studies, you can say, I'm currently studying blank, or I majored in if you already finished your degree.
What about phrases for hobbies and interests?
Good question. You can say, in my free time, I enjoy blank, or I'm really into blank, which is a more casual way to say you like something. For example, I'm really into hiking, or I'm really into cooking. Another phrase is, I've recently started blank, which shows you are trying something new, like, I've recently started learning Spanish.
These phrases are very natural. I think they will help me sound more fluent.
I'm glad you think so. Now, let's talk about phrases for goals or future plans, because this is often a good way to end your answer. You can say, my goal is to blank, or I'm hoping to blank, or in the future, I'd like to blank. These phrases show that you are thinking ahead and that you have direction in your life.
That's helpful because I always struggle to end my answer. I don't know how to finish without it feeling awkward.
That's a very common problem. Ending with a goal or future plan is a great way to close your answer naturally. For example, my goal is to become a project manager in the next few years, or I'd like to travel more and visit other countries. This gives your answer a nice, complete feeling. Yes, let's do that now. Let's start with a job interview situation. Imagine an interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself." Here is an example answer. Sure, my name is Anna, and I have a background in marketing. I graduated with a degree in business 5 years ago, and since then, I've worked at 2 different companies, focusing mainly on social media marketing and content strategy. In my current role, I manage a team of 3 people, and we recently increased our company's online engagement by 40%. Outside of work, I enjoy reading about new marketing trends and attending industry conferences. I'm excited about this position because it would allow me to use my skills in a larger company with more opportunities for growth.
That answer was longer than your first example. Is that okay for a job interview?
Yes, in a job interview, your answer can be a little longer, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, because the interviewer wants to understand your professional background in detail. Notice that Anna focused mostly on her work experience and skills, and she connected her answer to the job she is applying for at the end. This is a smart strategy because it shows the interviewer why she is a good fit for the position.
That makes sense. The job interview answer is more professional and focused on career details. What about a more casual, social situation?
Good question. Let's imagine you are at a party and someone new asks, "Tell me about yourself." Here is an example. "Hey, I'm Mike. I just moved here a few months ago because of my job, but I'm originally from Texas. I'm still trying to explore the city and find good restaurants. I love playing basketball, and I'm actually looking for people to play with on weekends. I also have a dog named Max, who is honestly the most important member of my family."
That answer sounds much more relaxed and friendly. It's shorter and it includes personal details like his dog.
Exactly. In a casual situation, your answer should be shorter, friendlier, and it's perfectly fine to include personal details that show your personality, like having a pet or your hobbies. This style invites the other person to ask more questions and continue the conversation naturally.
That's a great example. What about in an English class when the teacher asks students to introduce themselves on the first day?
This is a very common situation for English learners. In this case, your answer should focus on practicing your English, so it's okay to keep it simple, especially if you are still a beginner. Here is an example. "Hi everyone, my name is Yuki. I'm from Japan, and I moved to this city 2 months ago to study English. Before this, I worked as a nurse for 3 years. In my free time, I enjoy drawing and watching Korean dramas. I'm excited to improve my English speaking skills in this class, and I hope to make some new friends here too."
I like that example because it's simple but still gives a good amount of information about Yuki.
Yes, and notice that Yuki mentioned her goal for the class, which is improving her English speaking skills. This is a nice touch because it connects her introduction to the actual class she is in, which makes the introduction more relevant.
This has been so helpful, Sarah. Now, I want to try again with a new example. Can I imagine a job interview situation this time?
Of course. Go ahead, Tom. Imagine I am the interviewer, and I just asked you, "Tell me about yourself."
Okay, here we go. Thank you for asking. My name is Tom, and I have been working as a graphic designer for the past 5 years. I graduated with a degree in visual arts, and after graduation, I joined a small marketing company where I currently design logos, advertisements, and social media content for our clients. One of my proudest projects was redesigning the branding for a local restaurant chain, which helped increase their customer visits by 20%. Outside of work, I enjoy learning new design software and playing the guitar. I'm very interested in this position because it would give me the chance to work on larger, more creative projects with an international team.
Wow, Tom, that was excellent. You used the three-part structure perfectly: who you are, what you do, and your interests or goals. You also added a specific achievement, the 20% increase in customer visits, which makes your answer much more impressive and memorable.
Thank you, Sarah. I feel so much more confident now. I think the key things I learned today are keep the answer organized with the three-part structure, be specific instead of general, keep it short unless it's a formal interview, and end with a goal or future plan.
That's a perfect summary, Tom. Let's also quickly review the common mistakes one more time before we finish today's lesson. Can you remember them?
Let me try. Mistake 1, talking for too long and sharing too much unnecessary information. Mistake 2, being too general instead of specific. Mistake 3, repeating information that's already obvious to the listener. And mistake 4, sounding too memorized or robotic, like reading from a script.
Excellent memory, Tom. You remembered all four mistakes correctly. If you can avoid these mistakes and use the three-part structure we talked about today, you will feel much more confident the next time someone asks you, "Tell me about yourself."
I will definitely practice this at home. Maybe I'll record myself answering this question in different situations, like a job interview, meeting new friends, and in an English class.
That's a fantastic idea, Tom. Recording yourself and listening back is one of the best ways to improve your speaking skills. You can hear if you say, too much, if your answer is too long, or if you need more specific details.
I will try that this week. Sarah, before we finish, can you give our listeners one final tip for answering this question with confidence?
Sure. Here's my final tip. Remember that "tell me about yourself" is not a test with one correct answer. It's simply an invitation to share a little bit about who you are. Try to relax, smile, and speak naturally, like you're talking to a friend. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you will sound.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for this lesson today, Sarah. I learned so much and I feel ready to answer this question with confidence now.
You're very welcome, Tom. And to all of our listeners, remember the three-part structure: who you are, what you do, and your interests or goals. Practice with different situations like job interviews, casual conversations, and classroom introductions. Avoid the common mistakes we talked about today, and most importantly, speak naturally and confidently.
Thank you all for listening today. We hope this lesson helps you feel more prepared the next time someone asks you, "Tell me about yourself."
See you in the next lesson. Keep practicing, and remember, every conversation is a chance to improve your English. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, and good luck with your English practice.